for other lives to come. I'm here yearning for other lives to come.
Dumelang, Khanya, Lisedi, Tokozani. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the one-on-one sessions with Gogo Musari, and I'm your host, Gogo M. Giving you guys tips, lessons, and teachings on everything spirituality. I actually literally missed saying that so much, so I'm like really excited right now. So it's been a while since I posted a video. It always is a while since I posted a video, but yeah, I have a couple of notes here filled with so many things that I want to talk about. So it's going to be back on back videos so you guys can have as many videos, giving you guys as many information on spirituality for basically the next month or two, I believe. Yeah, so it's gonna be a busy night. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us again. And yeah, as usual, please remember my number will be on the top. That number is for consultation bookings only. If you have questions, please leave them on the comment section because I will not be answering any questions on my WhatsApp, right? So yeah, any questions, leave them on the comment section and I will be more than happy to answer them down there or make a Q&A video whereas I tackle and go in depth regarding answering you guys' questions. So anyways, today I want to start with something a bit light. I'm going to talk about different types of Isthunywa. Okay, so for those of you guys that don't know what Isthunywa is a prophetic gift, right? Yeah, so different types of Isthunywa gifts. So just to go in a bit of depth to talk about what Isthunywa is or what prophecy is, a prophet or a person with Isthunywa is a messenger from God, right? Is a direct messenger from God. These are people that are given messages by God and the spiritual guides and prophetic angels to deliver to those that are in need of this particular message. And these messages are there to bring healing, to bring closure, to bring clarity, to basically fix people's problems. So yes, in terms of divination, I'd say well, they are very similar or rather the same as all the other divination gifts. The only difference is prophets do not need any divination tools. They are the divination tools themselves. Okay, some prophets basically, because there are different types of prophetic gifts. Some way longer the people just have to pray and they get the information that they need or get the messages from the ancestors to guide whoever it is the message is for. Others, they read the Bible. So there are different ways in which prophets work, but all in all, they're there to help in terms of healing, bringing help and whatnot. And even in the messages that the prophets receive, they can also be given answers and clarity and guidance on how to basically fix the problem that is at hand. So some prophets work differently. Some use water to actually bring healing. Some actually bring healing through prayer alone, while others actually use duasho, which are spiritual salts. I believe that most of us, if not all of us, actually know what duashos are, right? So it basically differs on which type of Isthunywa you have, and that will determine how you're going to help and assist people that are sent to you or people that come to you for spiritual assistance and help, right? So in terms of different types of Isthunywa, I did note down that there are 5 different types of Isthunywa gifts that I am aware of at this current moment in time. The first one is Prophetic Sameti, the water prophetic gift, or other known as Isthunywa Samanzi. So yeah, that's the first one. The second one is Isthunywa Sataba, again, meaning the prophetic gift from the mountains, basically, right? The third one is Isthunywa Samdawe, again. So this is basically the prophetic gift from the Mdawe spirit. So if you guys are a bit confused about Mdawe spirit is one of the water spirits or ancestors that some of us may have. For some people, these are ancestors from your lineage, while for others, these are ancestors from outside your lineage, right? But we're going to get into that one very deep because that's actually a very interesting type of Isthunywa. The fourth one is Isthunywa the caves, basically, right? Prophetic gift from the caves. This is whereas the Isthunywa is connected to caves. And lastly is Isthunywa from the skies, the prophetic gift from the sky. So that's also a very interesting type of Isthunywa, right? So I'm gonna be looking at all these types of Isthunywa step by step, explaining what type of Isthunywa it is, how they work and whatnot. And basically I'm gonna be looking at the time. So if I feel like the video is becoming a bit too long, then I'm gonna make a part 1 and a part 2. But I'm hoping that I keep it as short as possible because I really hate making part 2s of all my videos, right? So let's begin with talking about these different types of Isthunywa and how you can identify the type of Isthunywa you have and how you actually have to appease these different types of prophetic gifts, right? Understand that when you have a spiritual gift. This is something that I want to touch up on before we get into the whole details. Understand that it's very important for you to understand the type of spiritual gift that you have, right? Because each and every spiritual gift has its own manner in which it is appeased, right? We can all be prophets in the room, but thing of the matter is the way in which we attend, we appease our prophetic ancestors will differ. The same way it is different for people with bungoma, sangoma, traditional healer gifts have to attend to their ancestors. My way of attending to my ancestors and appeasing my ancestors and working for my ancestors will not be the same as the next sangoma that you meet. So it is very important for you guys to understand, because the one thing that I have noticed, which is basically something that happens with basically all the gifts, I'm not judging, I'm just putting it out there because I feel like it's a matter that is actually affecting the progress of a lot of spiritual healers, right? I feel like people get to hear that, okay, you have a prophetic gift, or you have a traditional healer gift, or munguni gift, basically, right? And once you hear that, you basically start thinking that since this is the gift that I have, then it's gonna be in the cocoon of other sangomas, basically, right? And that is definitely not the case, because every single healer or every single person with a gift has his or her own instructions or manners in which they need to attend their gifts. Ancestors do not all want the same things. Even though we can all be sangomas, we're not all obligated to wear beads. They're agreeing, amen to that. We're not all obligated to wear our beads. We're not all obligated to all have a lion cloth or injeti cloth or whatever different type of cloth that you see healers having. And the biggest mistake that we do is that all because we see a specific healer or a specific prophet wearing this kind of attire, we believe that, okay, we must all wear them because we have a prophetic gift, which is not the case. That depends on the type of gift that you have, the type of prophetic gift you have, the munguni gift you have, the mdawe gift you have, and also the type of ancestor that is governing you at this particular moment in time. Okay, yeah. Right, so let's get to it. So the first one we're going to be talking about is the prophetic gift of the water, Isthunywa or Isthunywa, right? The prophetic gift of the waters, of, yeah, the waters, the rivers, whatever you want to call it, right? So this is a prophetic gift that is closely related to water, right? I understand that some people are going to say, but Gogo, all prophetic gifts are connected with water, but that is actually not the case, right? So each type of gift has its own manners in which you connect with your ancestors. Yes, water is a spiritual portal, whereas the more you go to the river to cleanse, to pratha, to pray, you sort of like remove any barriers between you and the communication of your ancestors. But there are certain gifts that are closely related to water, and this one is basically it. This is whereas most of the people, not all, but most of the people with this type of Isthunywa find themselves having or rather healing people with water. These are the people that can take a glass of water. It can be water from the river, water from Sidibeng or a spiritual pond, or just basic water from like the tap, right? And they can take that water and pray for it. And they give it to the person who's in need of healing, and automatically after this person drinks this particular water, they find healing, right? It can be whatever problem, it could be any sickness, can even be spiritual. These people use water, basically they pray for this particular water and instruct the person how you have to use that water, and that on its own can actually bring a lot of healing to the person with the particular problem, right? I also noted down that they use water to divine. So these are people by longer in most cases, right? You find that for them to divine or for them to prophesy for you, they need a glass of water with them or a bucket of water, depending on how their ancestors actually wanted them to use it, to do it, right? So they can have a glass of water or a bucket of water and pray looking or connecting with that particular water, and automatically they begin to get the information that they need regarding the person who's coming to like seek assistance or help from the ancestors. And the best thing about a prophetic gift is that unlike most gifts, people with prophetic gifts, they actually get to go into details with a lot of things, right? I'm not saying that sangomas don't do that or other people that divine don't do that, but it's actually quite interesting with them because they get messages in a very more personal manner, in an intuitive manner, or in a terms of seeing things while they're prophesying for people, which actually helps them in terms of going into details about a lot of things, right? So these people use water on a regular basis for divination and also for healing, right? I also noticed that in most cases these people possess other gifts such as mdawe, manono, and other water spirits. So understand that there are different water spirits in this world, right? We have mandao, we have manzunza, we have palosi and whatnot. So the water spirits that are there in this world, I feel like we've already put them in a cocoon, but there's more than just the one that we know of. But most of the people with this Isthunywa prophetic gift, Isthunywa water prophetic gift, you'd find that they also possess other water spirits with them, and that helps them connect with the prophetic ancestors even better, because they are able to connect with the water spirits. Even when they go to the rivers and whatnot, they are able to connect with this perfect, like specific prophetic spirits, which actually helps them a lot. So you find that this particular person goes out to check about their lives, and they're told that you have a prophetic gift, but they can say, well, this prophetic gift is accompanied with this particular gift, meaning that when this person attends to their ancestors, they also need to attend, when they attend to their prophetic gift, they also need to attend to these specific water spirits that are also governing them, to actually help them elevate, or rather strengthen the gift that they had, and allow them to actually visit certain different ancestral places that are connected with water, and be accepted by the ancestors that are there. Because remember, when you have, for example, mandawe, and you haven't appeased the mandawe spirits, there are certain places you can't really enter without the assistance of another healer, because that could actually be the go ahead for your ancestors to be like, let's take this person right now. So most of these people, they have to attend to these other gifts as well, to ensure that they are able to fully access their spiritual power and their spiritual strength, so their spiritual gifts can manifest in the manner that they are supposed to, right? And remember that with the manono is not specifically a water spirit, it is the spirit of a child, right? I made a video about that. So if you have no idea what Manono spirit is, feel free to check my previous videos on details about Manono spirit. So it is also a very pure and innocent spirit, right? So this is where longer you have to understand that water is the epitome of purity in its clearest form, right? Water cleanses, water removes negative energies, negative entities, whatever it is. Clean spiritual water removes that. Even water from the tap can also be used to remove negative energy. So that is why a spirit such as an Amanono spirit can actually be connected with this spiritual gift, right? And also another thing is that you need to understand that not only will a person with Isthunywa Samanzi only possess this power, or rather this gift of healing people through water alone, but they can also acquire certain healing power to actually heal people with other things such as herbs, to wash and whatnot, because of the fact that they are gonna be possessing other gifts in the process. So most of them, you'll find that they possess other gifts, so they have the ability to use other things, natural herbs and whatnot, to actually heal those that are in need of the healing and the assistance, right? Okay, so just like with every other gift, there are certain characteristics that these people who have the prophetic gift Samanzi will actually have, right? So these characteristics are actually not really imposed, but are required by the spiritual guides themselves, whereas the person tends to actually be this type of way because of the fact that they have this gift. You find that the particular person is a certain type of way, but because they possess this gift, there'll be moments and times whereas they embody certain characteristics that actually please the particular spirits that are governing them, right? The first thing is isolation. These people will require a lot of isolation. So isolation is a very important thing for people with a spiritual gift, because there are moments and times whereas you need to sit down, connect with your spirits, connect with yourself, so you can get the messages that are required from your ancestors and your spiritual guides. So yes, you can go out and have fun, but there are moments whereas you just feel like you want to be alone, and that is the spirits calling you to find a place whereas it's just you, it's just your energy alone, so they can come and give you certain information that is needed to be received at that particular moment in time, right? Number two, people who have this gift are clean freaks. Okay, so it's very common for people with water spirits to actually be very neat and clean. Not all of them, but most of them. So you find that this particular person embodies certain characteristics of a person who has OCD, whereas they cannot be in a space or an area whereas the entire environment is just a mess. They need a clean area. And remember that a clean space or a clean area calls upon positive energy, positive spirits to them, meaning that in a way it's actually a way in which these people expel negative energy, because in a place that is very messy, that is where as negative entities and negative spirits, they often thrive on a regular basis, right? So these people are often pretty much clean freaks. They want to make sure that their environment is clean, it's not messy, and there isn't a lot of mess regardless, like whether it's clean or not, but mess regarding people that are with them, meaning that they don't want people with negative energy or people that are too noisy, people that are too loud. They require that cleanliness to a certain extent, right? Number three, these people are overprotective. So these are people that are your ride or die. So if I could like describe them as a zodiac sign, I'd say they're Aries people. Okay, because I'm an Aries and I'm a ride or die and I'm very protective, right? So these people are very protective, especially of the people that they love, the people that they care about, their family members, their friends. They will do everything in their power to protect the people that they love. And that is actually something very common with a lot of people with water spirits, because they are people that actually love justice. There are people that often want to get justice in the right way. Whereas if you mess with someone that they care about, trust me, they will fight. They will fight as much as they possibly can. Number four, they have short tempers, but this is nothing new. Almost every single person with a spiritual gift has short tempers, because this is whereas when you step on the toes of someone with a spiritual gift, not only are you stepping on their toes, but they are also stepping on the toes of their ancestors and their spiritual guides. And trust me, their ancestors, the one thing that they do not want is to be disrespected. So basically, every person with a spiritual gift has a short temper to a certain extent, right? Number five, which is the last one, they will often dream or be drawn to the colors white and blue, right? So this is where as you find that, okay, because white and blue, they have their own spiritual meanings, right? But more longer these people are drawn to these colors, this is where as you find that certain regalias or certain uniform, church regalias, church uniforms that they have those colors. That's why you'd see a lot of apostolic churches finding what people are wearing royal blue, not really royal blue, but the prophetic blue color along with white clothes. This is the colors that are actually resonating with this particular spirit, and these are the colors that connect the spirit with them on a regular basis. So these people will be drawn to those colors on a regular basis because those are the colors of their ancestors. So you'd find yourself having a lot of dreams whereas you're seeing the colors, you're seeing candles with the colors, you're seeing yourself wearing clothes of that color, or you'll see a nation or people from a specific church, apostolic church, wearing that type of color. That is actually the ancestors showing you that with the gift that you have, these are the colors that resonate with you. And in most cases, when you see those colors or people wearing that uniform in your dreams or your vision, that is your ancestors showing you what your gift might actually be the prophetic gift of the waters, Isthunywa in a sense, right? All right, so moving on, we're going to be talking about Isthunywa in this translation, the prophetic gift of the mountains. It's a good thing I know English. Now I can translate everything properly for you guys. So with this particular gift, these are people that are drawn to the mountains a lot. And they are often called to go to the mountains to strengthen their gifts. Man. So for people with Isthunywa or the prophetic gift of the waters, they are called to the river to strengthen their gifts. But with this one, they are called to the mountains. That is where as they connect with their ancestors, they connect with their spiritual guides, they connect with every spiritual spirit that is in their lineage that is of this particular gift, right? So these people are called to the mountains to strengthen their gift on a regular basis. They are high-level prophets, right? So these are people that are basically born as healers. That is why I call them high-level prophets. This is whereas you find that this person, wherever it is they are in their life, whether they are working a 9 to 5 or they are attending to their prophetic gift on a day-to-day basis, you'd find that these people have a high authority. These are people of high authority, whereas they are bosses where they are in life, whereas sometimes I'd say that they are bishops, archbishops, pastors, priests. Those are the kind of people that actually have this kind of gift, right? These are people that are called to have their own churches. These are people that are called to be leaders. They have their own congregation. They have their own followers. These are people that their ancestors are saying, well, you know what? You are someone who can actually govern a nation or govern people. These are people such who I'd say would have the capability of being presidents and whatnot. So these are people that are of high level authority on their own because of the gift that they possess. And whereas they have this high level of authority, it actually comes down to the bloodlines that they come from. So most of these people with this gift come from a royal bloodline, right? And whereas they come from a royal bloodline, understand that spiritual ancestors, or rather ancestors from a royal bloodline on their own, they carry themselves in that manner, and hence whatever it is that they give to their children is going to be something of a high authority authority, because even when they were alive or when they were here, they actually carried a high authority, and they want to make sure that their presence is felt through their child. I mean, royal bloodlines are so fucking cool. I mean, think about it. So they are there to actually make sure that you are always gonna be on top, as they were in their time. And remember that when talking about a royal bloodline, right, it is not cocooned to actually talking about the kings and queens, but also the people in that bloodline as well, the cousins of the kings, the relatives of the kings and queens, stuff like that. So not everyone, but they come from a royal bloodline, was supposed to be a king or queen, or yeah, something like that, but they are closely related to the royal family to a certain extent. And the royal family, I'm actually talking about it generally, it could be a royal family from a different tribe, this tribe, the Zulu tribe, the Venda tribe, it doesn't really matter. The bloodline is something that runs through your veins. That is why you're given this level of authority, and that is why your ancestors trust you to this level, because you hold them within you. You hold their bloodline, their legacy within you, right? Another thing that I pointed out is that they are also called to work in the church. Né? So this is where, as these people, when they're called to work at the church, they are called to attend church on a regular basis, because there are certain prophets that hardly go to church. I've met a lot of prophets that don't even go to church to begin with, right? So these are people that are always told, go to church, connect with us through the church, right? And whereas you're connecting with us through the church, help people that are in the church. This is where, as you see, that there are certain prophets at church that are always prophesying for people, helping people, praying for people on a regular basis. Most of the times, these are people with the prophetic gift of the mountains, right? And another thing that I pointed down regarding it is that this spirit is highly evoked by the drums and the music of the church. So the drums are basically traditional drums, spiritual drums, apostolic drums, whatever you want to call them. Those are the drums that actually evoke, or rather, like, they put the spirit into a happy state to a point, whereas the minute they put themselves, these people put themselves in a place whereas the traditional or prophetic drums are played, then their gifts are also elevated and made stronger. This is why they're always called to go to the church, because at church, that is where as the drums are played on a regular basis, and that puts the ancestors in a happy space, in a space where as they are able to speak, share whatever it is they want to share with the people that are there, communicate and bring healing to a certain extent, right? Another thing, the second last thing, is that they can also possess other gifts like Inzunza, Ndawe, and Bungoma. So unlike the other one, right? Remember the other one was actually Ndawe and Manono, right? So with this one, the people that are actually governed by this gift, they can also govern other gifts such as Inzunza, Ndawe, and Bungoma. So all these three gifts are closely related to the royal bloodline, right? So most people that are from the Mandawe tribe, or people that have the Mandawe gift, you find that they come from a royal bloodline. And as we all know, since we made a long video before about the Inzunza gifts, most people that have Inzunza are also from a royal bloodline. And Bungoma itself, there are also people who have this Bungoma gift, which is the Nguni gift, which is actually related or closely related to a royal bloodline. So most of these people are connected to these other three gifts, meaning that if you have the prophetic gift Zago, Tabing, or the prophetic gift of the mountains, there's a high chance that you can also possess these other gifts as well, right? And lastly, they are drawn to colors such as yellow, white, and leopard print, right? So with the leopard print, that is actually a huge indication of the royal bloodline, first of all, of the authority that you have as a prophetic person, because a royal a leopard print regalia is a very distinctive, extinguished, I don't know the term, right? But it is a very up there it is a very up there print to wear. So most of the times you find that they're wearing the pika, which are the capes, the prophetic capes, and those capes may have the color yellow, which is light, serenity. It's a color of beautiful things, and it's a color of authority on its own. And also the leopard print as well, to actually show that this is a high level prophet, this is a high level gifted person that is brought by the ancestors to this particular place to give you all the healing that you need, right? So most of the times the regalias are going to be like that, and other times they will have dreams or visions whereas they see those colors a lot. If they can see them, people like in dreams, whereas people are wearing them, or certain ancestors are visiting them wearing these particular colors, right? Okay, so the characteristics that these people with this Isthunywa of the mountains have is, first of all, They are stubborn. Understand that people with authority are naturally stubborn. Born leaders are naturally stubborn, and you cannot tell them anything and think or it'll go through their head and stay there. Most of the times, the minute you give them advice, it's like you are disrespecting them. Like, why would you give someone of such a high level advice, in a sense, right? That is mainly how they think. They're very stubborn in their own way, right? Secondly, they are very artistic. These are people that are often writers, singers. Like, they have this artistic sense of them that is given by their ancestors, and they are always compelled or guided by their ancestors to share those things. These are people that have dreams of themselves, writing certain things that are given concepts in their dreams. If let's say, for example, there's someone who's venturing or concentrating in their artistic path per se, right? And with this artisticness, they are also amazing singers in most cases. Not all of them, but most of them are amazing singers, right? So this is whereas most of the time you'd find that these people are always there at the church singing their butts off and putting people into the Holy Spirit with their beautiful voices, right? And lastly, they draw attention very quickly. So these are the people by Longo, they don't even need to do much. The minute they walk into a room, everyone sees them. That is how high class the spirit is. I feel like these ancestors or other spiritual guys were like, you know what, wherever we go, everyone needs to feel us. And it can be very intimidating. I mean, those are the kind of people that whenever you encounter them, you feel a sense of intimidation. You're like, okay, I want to impress them, but at the same time, you're like, I need to keep my cool because you're so intimidated by the aura, the energy of this person, but at the same time, you want to be so close to them. That is the thing with this particular gift or a high class spiritual gift in general. Those people, when they walk into a room, you feel it basically, right? I'm getting too excited. So number three, the third spirit that I'm gonna be talking about is Isthunywa Samdawe, the prophetic gift of the Mandawe. But this one is a bit of a complex type of Isthunywa, right? Of a prophetic gift. So this is a prophetic gift of Umdawe, but other people they call it the prophetic gift of Mdewa. That I could never be able to pronounce this word right. Mdewa. So Mdewa is actually a ghost. It is a ghost. So this is whereas things get a bit, yeah, they get a bit, yeah. So Umdliwa is a ghost, right? So we all know that a ghost is a spirit that is not resting. The spirit of someone who passed away, and most of the time, this person may have passed away in a very bad way. But with regards to this type of Isthunywa, I won't really say that it's a spirit that passed away in a very bad way. But there are cases where, as this is the case, I am gonna make a whole video about Mdiwa spirit. That way, you guys can be able to understand why I'm saying what I'm saying at this particular moment. Because there's just so many things I could say about it. But I don't want this video to be too long, whereas we don't touch up the other video, the other two Isthunywa gifts, right? So this is a spirit that actually passed away. And in most cases, you find that with the spirit of Isthunywa Samdlewa or Isthunywa Samdawa, you find that this is a spirit that has no relation with the person that it's governing. This is someone who has no blood relation with the person that is governing, but rather they chose that person due to the relationship that they may have had with the family of this particular person. You find that most of the times, like this is a spirit that comes from different parts of the East Africa and whatnot, whereas this person may have moved to a different place far from home, maybe whereas they can't really be able to go back to their home country, and this person has this particular gift, right? So this person passed away in this particular family that has welcomed him or her, that has made him a part of the family, and the love is there, the communication, the connection, it is there to a point whereas this person, even before they passed away, they looked at these people and they were like, this is my family, this is my new family. I've left my family back home, but this is my newfound family, and I'm gonna stick by them. That is the type of relationship in most cases. I'm still gonna talk about the other case, but in most cases, this is it, right? So whereas they have this bond, this connection, this person, when they pass away, you find that the family in which he or she stayed with while before they were, like, at the time of their passing, you find that they don't know how to take this person back home. Maybe they don't even have any connection or ways to communicate with the people from their home. So you'd find that at the end of the day, they bury this person in their clan graves, right? So, or even not in their clan graves, but they're the ones that bury the person properly, right? So Kimo Ilongore, when this spirit becomes an ancestor or becomes a ghost, and it has to give the spiritual gift to somebody else instead of going for someone in their family, given the fact that they are very far from their family. First of all, this is basically sort of like similar to an Ndiki spirit. I made a video about that as well. This is very similar to an Ndiki spirit, but with them, get that thing out. I'm far from home. Maybe I can't even connect with the people from my bloodline. I can't even be united with the ancestors from my bloodline. So what I'm gonna do is that I am gonna join the ancestors of this particular family that welcomed me, made me feel at home, made me feel loved in a sense, and I'm gonna give one of their descendants the gifts that I had when I was alive. Right? So this is where as someone inherits this particular Isthunywa, right? So this is whereas, like I said, there's no relation whatsoever. In other cases, which is a very not so light-hearted one, you'd find that this person is actually killed by someone in this particular bloodline. So when this spirit actually becomes this Ndlewa, yeah, Ndlewa, it becomes a very horrific spirit, and it actually torments the people in that lineage from generation to generation, right? And when it torments the people from that lineage from generation to generation, you might find that there are different ways in which you can move the spirit, but you might find that this particular spirit says, you know what, since you guys are the ones that took my life, you guys are gonna have to pay a price, and this particular price is that one person, it can choose whoever. This particular person, most of the times, is a person who already has a spiritual gift, but this particular person is going to initiate for me as well and carry on my work and help people to sort of like amend for the sins of their forefathers. So that is not a nice one, but at the end of the day, it does have a good ending. You help people with the gift, in a sense, I guess. Yeah. So there's no relation whatsoever, right? Secondly, I noted down that this one is an Njiwa, again, with no ill intentions towards the family in most cases. So I told you guys the two scenarios, right? So but once this person, once you appease the spirit, it becomes a spirit with no ill intentions, whereas it actually is there to actually assist, help, bring healing to the family members, or bring healing to the people that come for assistance and for help. Meaning that when you're working with it, once you've healed it and cleansed it, because that is very necessary if it died in a very bad way, or this person died in a very bad way, once you've cleansed the spirit, then it will have no ill intentions, né? And in most cases, it is a spirit of the light, because most of the times it is a spirit that had a good relationship with the family that it chose to give the gift to, right? And lastly, I noted down that it is represented by the colors red and the red snake. So this is where, as you might find that you have this prophetic gift and you don't understand what kind of gift it is, but you are often told to have a red speaker, which is the cape, or sometimes you're sometimes told to sometimes you find yourself seeing a red snake when you're having dreams or getting information or messages from your ancestors. This red snake appears. This red snake actually represents this Njiwa or Ndlewa spirit that is actually there, or that has given you this particular gift. But do take this in note, this is a spirit that is not from your bloodline. This is a spirit that chose your family for a specific reason. Either it was welcomed properly, or it chose you so you can amend for the sins of your forefathers, right? So the fourth spiritual gift, or rather fourth Isthunywa that I want to talk about, is the Isthunywa from the caves. Isthunywa Sadi caving. I don't know what they call it in my language and what they call it in Zulu or any other language, basically. So I'm just gonna stick to Isthunywa from the caves, right? So in terms of this Isthunywa, I noted down that this one requires a person to visit spiritual caves. So there are those caves, and guys, the caves are scary as hell. I don't want to lie to anybody. So there are spiritual caves, right? So these spiritual caves or tunnels, they can be as big as they can be or as small as they can be. It just depends on the type of spiritual cave that you're at. So these particular people are often called to visit those spiritual caves. So most of the times you will not really hear much about what is seen there, but I can guarantee you guys it is not for the faint-hearted, right? So these people are required to visit the caves on a regular basis, and in the caves, that is where as they connect with their ancestors, they connect with the spirit of the rivers, of the caves and whatnot. Because remember, there are spirits in the river, guardians in the river, which are snakes, mamorasha, or whatever type of spirit from that particular river that you went to. They differ depending on the river. Remember, I've said that before. And also there are spirits in the caves, there are spirits in the woods, depending on where it is you are, and if that place is spiritual, is a spiritual place. In spiritual places, there's always a spirit protecting that particular place to ensure that those that come, you know what, it's someone who uses witchcraft or does negative things, they cannot enter or come there and do some malicious things and leave. So that is why you'd see a lot of people running away from those places. Bye. Anyways, these people are required to go to the caves on a regular basis to strengthen their gifts, to connect with their ancestors, to appease their spiritual guides, to appease their prophetic spirits that are governing them, right? Secondly, most of them do not initiate for the gift. So this is the kind of prophetic gift. I'm not saying that the other gifts people need to initiate, but when it comes to the one year gotabing, the Isthunywa from the mountains, most of the times they have to initiate, right? But strictly with this one, strictly with this one, they do not have to initiate. Most of the times, they don't have to initiate. They are told to go to the caves on a regular basis, and this is where, as their guides and their ancestors and their spiritual guides saying, go to this particular cave, do this when you get there, do that when you get there, pray when you get there, partner when you get there, light a candle when you get there. They just give them full instructions, and these people do that, and over time their gifts actually become strong. And these are very powerful healers or prophets from my own perspective, because these are mostly the prophets that never got to encounter being blocked by their initiators, in a sense, because they were guided and initiated by their ancestors. I'm sure for some of you guys it may remind you of a certain gift that I spoke about before, right? And this is where, as I want to note down that this gift, or rather this prophetic gift, is closely related to the Ngakachupye gift. If you remember, I spoke about Ngakachupye, but in that video I was saying about a Sangoma, or a healer, or a traditional person who is initiated by their ancestors and guided by their ancestors in how to use certain herbs and muti and whatnot, right? So this one is closely related to that particular traditional gift, because the fact that they work the same way, their ancestors are the ones that actually initiate the person. That is why I'm saying it is important for you to understand the gift that you have, because some gifts do not require initiation. Not everyone is supposed to enter initiation for Bungoma or a prophetic gift to begin with. Some people, and I know you guys don't call it initiation for a prophetic gift, but I do. It makes it easier to explain. But some people are given a gift that is solely able to be evoked by the ancestors and the ancestors alone. And this is where, as if you go to someone, then you're going to end up finding yourself in a position whereas you're going to so many prophets, but you're not seeing anything change because you're not following the instructions of the ancestors, right? Another thing that I noted down is that these people use prayer, water, and herbs. So these are a very versatile type of spiritual prophetic gift, because they are not cocooned to one thing. Even though you might find that this person only has this gift alone, but you'd find that even with this gift alone, these people can use herbs, they can use water, they can use duwasho, whatever it is that their ancestors feel like, you know what, I want you to use this today, they can use that. And okay, not really whatever the ancestors want them to use, but it depends on what the person that governing them was using, basically. Let me not exaggerate things. And also the last thing that I noted down is that these people are drawn to the color white, the color of purity, right? And this is where, as you find these people wearing Nazareta, there's this regalia called Nazareta. All the other gifts, they can wear them as well, but these people, they will be drawn or told on a regular basis that this is what you wear. It's a very powerful regalia. It is, guys, Nazareta is a powerful regalia, honestly speaking. It's a very powerful regalia. I will make a video about it soon, just talking about it in details, explaining. But it's best I don't, because those are spiritual secrets. I don't want to be revealing secrets and I'm not supposed to. So these people are drawn to the color white. They are drawn to white candles. They are told to wear white candles. They are drawn to white things, white clothes, white regalia, white coats, everything white regarding the spirit. They are drawn to it, basically, right? The last type of Isthunywa or prophetic gift that we're going to be talking about is Isthunywa from the sky, or in Zulu, or in Pedi, they say Isthunywa sa moyeng, mpoya moya, like that, or Isthunywa sezulu. So this is basically an Isthunywa gift, whereas the people are prayer warriors. These are people that fight their battles through prayer. These are people that are drawn to pray for others. These are people that are drawn to heal other people through prayer. And these are people that use prayer as their one and only tool in most cases, right? So bear in mind, prayer is different for every single person. So it depends on how connected you are with your spiritual guides, with your ancestors, as to how your prayer is going to be and how effective your prayer is going to be. These are people that when they pray at this particular moment, things start to happen. There are changes that are happening right on the spot because of the power and the magnitude of their prayer, basically, right? They use prayer to divine and heal. So these are people that may just be sitting and they start praying and information is told to them. These are people by just praying. They don't even, in most cases, they don't even need any object like a glass of water or a Bible to be able to prophesy for you. They just pray. It can even be for a few seconds. And all the information that you need to hear is told to you. And in my experience, these are very powerful prophets, because I remember I once went to one and it was before I initiated. It was a long time ago. Like basically my first time visiting a prophet in my entire life, right? So I got there, this woman just prayed for a few seconds and she just told me my things. And I was like, damn, okay, I never had anyone tell me things the way that you just did. So I was impressed. I don't want to lie, I was very impressed. So it's one of the spiritual gifts that I respect all of them, but I respect this one the most, right? So they also use prayer to heal, right? So these are people that they don't necessarily, not all of them, but some of them don't necessarily need to get like salt or dewash or water or whatever it is that prophets can use to heal people. But by just praying for a person, they can give you healing. They can come through, pray for you, and all your problems are lifted from your shoulders. Bruh, it is that nice. And they are called to the church on a regular basis. So they are very similar to the other gift, Isthunywa or the prophetic gift of the mountain, because these are people that are also called to the church on a regular basis, because that is whereas healing is needed. That is whereas the ancestors will be able to wait. That is whereas there's enough drum, there's enough music, or depending, because Isthunywa doesn't necessarily, or prophetic gift doesn't necessarily work, or is not as necessarily activated by an apostolic church. There can be prophets from a Christian church, prophets from a Roman church. It doesn't really matter, but these people are drawn to the church. And depending on what church your ancestors went to, remember there are a mass of churches, so many churches, and our ancestors adapted to different churches so they can work. So depending on the type of church that they went to, they will always do the same thing, which is heal people through their prayer when you are taken to church. And you'll be called to go to church on a regular basis to connect with the spirits themselves on a regular basis, right? The fourth thing that I noted down is that they often wear what we call munazareta, and also a white and blue regalia. So munazareta is the outfit that I spoke about, not outfit, the regalia that I spoke about earlier when we were talking about the Isthunywa from the cave, right? So munazareta, like I said, is a very powerful attire. It's a very powerful attire, and these people are often drawn to wearing this attire on a regular basis. It's actually an apostolic attire. I don't know if other churches, but I believe the Roman church must have it as well, but it doesn't matter what I believe. So basically these people are drawn to wear the Nazareth and also a blue and a white regalia. So sometimes when you're dreaming of this Nazareta or Nazarethian attire, it can be a sign that you have Isthunywa Samoya, the Isthunywa from the skies. Or when you're seeing yourself wearing white and blue regalia, you will be like, it will be a sign from your ancestors that no, you don't have that prophetic gift, you actually have this prophetic gift. But that will also go hand in hand with the type of dreams that you have, because when you have a certain gift, you will dream, your dreams will sort of like be an indication for you. So people with Isthunywa Samoya or the Isthunywa from the sky, they will often dream of themselves flying. They'll dream of themselves maybe in a plane or just them floating in the sky, which is actually pretty cool. So they'll dream of themselves flying on a regular basis. That is to show them that your gift, Kiamoyeng, is a gift of the skies. Okay. And lastly, they are often overwhelmed with other people's emotions. So these are massive empaths, right? I'm not saying that the other prophetic gifts are not empaths, or people with the other prophetic gifts are not empaths, but these people become major empaths because only through prayer, they only need to pray and they connect with everything and everyone and all the energies, right? And whereas they are empaths, this is the people that when you see them praying, most of the time when they start praying, they start crying. That is how powerful or how much they connect with the spirits when they are praying. So you find that in most cases, they are massive impacts. They're affected by emotions, they're affected by energies. If there's something wrong with a person, it will hit them 10 times heavier than it will hit a normal healer in most cases. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Oh no, it's not it. I forgot to tell you guys, there are also main signs or characteristics of Isthunywa. So this video just became extremely long and I was there thinking what is going to be short, right? So one of the major signs that you may have Isthunywa gift is that you often cry when you're praying, right? And also you're a very emotional person. This is whereas when bad things happen to people, you just get in a very bad emotional state. You start crying, you start feeling the pains of other people. That is basically it. You feel the pains of other people a lot easier because of the gift that you have, because Isthunywa often wants to heal, it often wants to help, it often wants to guide and give healing to people, to everything, to animals. It doesn't matter, right? Number two, you dream of prophesying and praying for people. So a lot of people with Isthunywa, you'd find them saying that I had a dream and in that dream I was prophesying, I was praying for people. I don't understand what it means. It means that you have a prophetic gift that you need to attend to, right? They're also very moody, and I actually like understand why they'd be moody. I mean, if I had to feel everyone's emotion all the time and I didn't know how to block it the right way, I would be moody all the time. You'd never see a smile on this face, and I'm always smiling and laughing with everybody, right? Number four, they require solitude. Like I said, they sleep often, usually in the afternoon. So the afternoon is the best time for vision. So even for people with Isthunywa, you find that and in the afternoon you find that by around 2 o'clock they start sleeping. If not 2 o'clock, but they'll actually sleep at like 5 o'clock. Those are times where they'll sleep, right? And in those times they'll have massive visions, revelations, news, mugos, whatever it is that the ancestors want to give them, they will receive it, right? Number six, they will dream of flying, like I noted down in the other point about that other gift. Number seven, they'll experience headaches, migraines, dizziness on a regular basis. So this is where, as the spiritual ancestors, they want to give you a message. So most of the times when they want to give you a message, you'll find yourself having massive headaches. That's the first thing. Or when you're in a place where there are too many energies, you'll find yourself having headaches because of, it's sort of like the effects of your environment or the people that are around you, or just a lot of spirits wanting to give off their information, like, bro, tell this person this, but because it's an influx of messages, or you find that you haven't yet opened your spiritual gift, then you find yourself having so many headaches, right? They also astral project a lot. So these are people that astral project effortlessly in most cases. They don't need to do much, they don't need to do extra like meditation and whatnot, but it is important for whatever type of gift you have, especially a prophetic gift, for you to often cleanse it, train it, make sure you maintain it. Basically, that is the advice I will give anybody with a prophetic gift. Maintain it on a regular basis to ensure that you're always strong and you're always able to give people the information that they need to hear, not the information that you want to give them, right? Another point is that some may have habits of fainting. So this is where, as you find already, they're saying, no, this person has epilepsy or this or this or that. I'm not saying that people don't have those diseases, but people with Isthunywa find themselves in situations where as they faint a lot. And sometimes you find them having this heaviness, like something is moving through their body, and when it gets to their chest, they run out of breath and they feel like they're gonna faint, or they basically faint on the spot, right? Another one is that they yawn a lot. So it's, yeah, yawning and also burping. So it's not necessarily burping, because we know that a lot of spiritual people, they burp a lot, right? But with Isthunywa, you can also find yourself yawning on a regular basis. And lastly, you are always drawn to water. So like I said, water is pure, is that epitome of purity. And when you have a prophetic gift and your gift is there, like your gift is there for healing, for cleansing, for purity, or bringing purity in other people's lives, you are drawn to the water on a regular basis, especially if your gift is closely related with the water spirits that are there in the charts. Then you'll find that you are drawn to water on a regular basis, and it is necessary for you to go to the waters as much as you possibly can. Anyways, that is it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Ah man, I hate the fact that it is so long. I wanted it to be very short, but what matters is that I told you guys everything that you need to know. Anyways, if you have any questions, please leave them on the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Anyways, have a beautiful one. Thokozani. Bye bye.
I'm here yearning for all the lives to come. I'm here yearning for all other lives to come.